Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Today's video is going to be a quick protocol recap on how to utilize the digestive support program guide below and how to calibrate your digestive support dosing. So off the bat, this protocol sheet always is getting modified and adjusted, but typically we have a new patient video guide that should be watched that just kind of lays out the ins and outs of the scheduling, rescheduling, how to get your protocol sheet, how to finalize things like that, just all the logistical things. And then the nutrition video, which is a more in-depth video of these various handouts below, looking at autoimmune, paleo lower FODMAP, just kind of the general eating plan, best practices, diet, lifestyle, blood sugar, inflammation reducing, hydration, electrolytes, etc. So make sure these first 2 to 3 videos and handouts are looked at first. Again, you'll have the links for the requisition forms for the labs below. And then here on the digestive side, usually we're going to start with HCl and enzymes separated for most people, anyone that has digestive issues that are significant. Because when we have digestive issues, number one, we're creating a lot of inflammation in the gut by not digesting and breaking our foods down thoroughly. So even a healthy diet can actually create digestive distress through rancidification, putrefaction, fermentation. That's the food essentially rotting in your tummy. And so we want to individualize these because some people can't handle a lot of HCl, but can handle a lot more enzymes. And so we will separate those out because if you're more inflamed, maybe less HCl. We have a lower HCl product called Digest Energy that's lower. We'll start with that if someone's really inflamed. Or you can just start like at 1/8 of a capsule and kind of work your way up. And then with the enzymes, we'll start at 1 to 3. And then a lot of times we have a third tertiary digestive support product called Liver Supreme, or a bile acid fat digestive support product that helps with fat digestion as well as bile flow, liver gallbladder bile flow. So the first thing is if you click here, hit the control button, click digestive support guide, you will get a handout right here. I will pull that over on the screen in just 1 second and you will be able to see that. If I pull this over here, you'll see this handout right here. And if you go into the members area on justinhealth.com, top right-hand corner, and put the password in justinhealth, and again, that's right here. Click here, password justinhealth. You'll be able to access that same handout as well. So how to figure out your HCl dosage, that's a really good video. I'm going to kind of go through it here and give you a synopsis. And there's kind of an order of operations and how we add everything in. I like to do the HCl first, enzymes second, liver or fat, digestive, gallbladder support third. Again, the only exception is if we have a lot of gut inflammation, a lot of gut irritation, and this kind of shows the progression of how we add things in. We may start with healing and soothing nutrients first. So the healing and soothing nutrients will be down below. That's the GI Restore. So if you click here, this would also come up on the website for the store. You can also grab that here. This is a great product. A lot of good healing, soothing kind of nutrients. N-acetylglucosamine, MSM, aloe, okra leaf, DGL, glutamine, zinc, really helpful. So all these good things to calm down the gut lining. Again, my analogy is if you went out and got a sunburn today, even though you had sore back pain or sore back issues, you may need a massage or a chiropractic adjustment, but because your skin's so sore, you may not be able to receive that adjustment because the tissue is so inflamed. And that's how a lot of patients' digestive tracts are. They're just really inflamed. So we have to work on calming it. So we may want to add that GI Restore in first, work on healing, soothing, enzyme second, fat digestive support third, and then we would add in the HCl last on that. And again, if you have active ulcerations or anything like that, we may not even do an acid. We may test it in a couple of weeks with some apple cider vinegar, like a teaspoon, or some lemon juice or lime juice. That's basically citric acid. Apple cider vinegar is acetic acid. A teaspoon, couple ounces of water right before a meal, and you're good. And again, we don't want to dilute our digestive juices, so we don't want to consume a lot of water. A couple ounces to get pills down is fine. We just don't want to hydrate. Hydration versus a couple ounces to get pills down are two different things. So we'd start, let's say, there's no active ulcer, there's no active significant gut inflammation. We'd start with the HCl. We start at 1 capsule. Let's say it's Monday, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then Tuesday, 2 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wednesday, 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You kind of taper your way up. Again, the biggest side effects you're going to see with HCl, you could have just a little bit of warmness. You could go right to burning. We don't want warmness and burning. We want to be 1 capsule below that. And so if you have warmness or burning at 3 or 4 caps, then you would go to 2 caps. If you have it at 4, you go to 3. Just kind of back off 1. So you take in the middle of the meal, right? We want it to be sandwiched in with a little bit of food, not too late either, because then it sits on top of the food and it can hit the esophagus. And then you'd work on the enzymes next. And with the enzymes, there may not be an overt side effect like burning or warmness. And so you may just look for, I just feel better at 2 than 1. I just feel lighter. My food, I have less burping, less gas. I have better motility. My stool has less particulate in there. It sinks more, right? It's just more of a subjective sensation, but you can quantify it, also with how much you're burping or your bowel motility, or just how light you feel after your meal. Again, with the HCl, we don't want burning or warmness, and use common sense on some of these things. So let's say 4 capsules feels good with a ribeye steak, but if you have a light white fish the next day, well, you may only need 1 or 2, right? So you have to look at how rich the meal is. Richness means like the purine content, how much fat's in there as well. Ribeye steak versus a light white fish, 2 different things, okay? So kind of use common sense with some of that, chicken breast versus bone-in, skin-on, dark meat chicken thigh, right? Different richness, different purine content. So you're going to need less HCl on the lighter things, more HCl on the rich things. And again, if we're adding in the liver supreme, this is a fat digestive support. So there's ox bile in there. And again, there is going to be also bile support. So there's bile flowing agents. So you'll see phosphatidylcholine, you'll see taurine, you'll see beetroot, you'll see dandelion or fringe tree. This is really designed to help with gallbladder flow, but there's also ox bile in there to help with you breaking down fat. And similar dosing will be 1 to 3 on this as well. And that's going to be really helpful for you out of the gates to kind of helping to break down the fat on that as well. Now, the next thing is we may want to add in the GI Restore. The GI Restore, like I mentioned, has all the healing and soothing nutrients. And normally I'm going to make recommendations at the new patient consult, but let's say something happens where you're having a lot of gut inflammation, you're having a lot of gut irritation. We're going to put our focus on using probably the GI Restore first to really work on calming everything down and making sure that you're on the right track and that everything is healing and moving in the right direction. So we may add this in. We would take on an empty stomach and can take 1 serving mixed with water. And we may do 1 serving on an empty stomach in the morning. If you do well with that, we may even want to add 1 in at night. And again, empty stomach is fine. So you could even do it mid-afternoon if you wanted, or let's say an hour and a half, 2 hours after dinner. That's also fine too. Totally fine with that. That's really calming and soothing on the gut lining. So we like that. And the serving size on the GI Restore is about 2 teaspoons is 1 serving. So you can always start with 1 teaspoon and then kind of work your way up to 2. And again, you can always check the back of the bottle for the serving size on that. And again, I'll put on hold here if it's not relevant. And if it's relevant, we'll just delete that and you will start working on it. And if you have a lot of gut inflammation, again, I always like to work these things from the top down. That way it's intuitive for patients. We may add this at the top. We may just move this up here like so. And then you can kind of work your way down. And we may add the HCl actually at the bottom if there's a lot of gut inflammation. So I'm just kind of letting you know how we may switch that up. And if you are working on this stuff on the fly and you're noticing a lot of gut inflammation and you can't quite get the dose right, go back to this digestive support guide right here. Go back to our digestive support guide and just kind of work your way through the bottom. So you would start with the enzymes, get the enzymes dialed in, get the liver supreme dialed in. If the gut's really inflamed, we would then work on the GI Restore as well. So you're just starting low and working your way up. So with the HCl, 1 capsule to 2 to 3. Again, if you have any problems, you can go through this. This is very in-depth. You have the link here above on the protocol sheet. So if you go back to your protocol sheet, it's just right here. You press the control button and that becomes linkable. Or you go to the members area, justinhealth.com/members-area, and click this link. Brings it to you as well. There's the link right there as well. And then the password is justinhealth, all lowercase, no spaces. And that kind of walks you through the dosing on that as well. And again, if you see this right here, this kind of makes it clear. Start by taking the HCl. If 1 cap causes a problem, you can try going to a half or even a quarter of a capsule. You can even go to an eighth of a capsule if needed and kind of work your way up. Again, if we have problems, we can always switch you over to the Digest Synergy, which is a lower dose HCl product. And then we can add the enzymes in next. Same thing down here. If you go look at the top, we would add the enzymes in at 1 capsule and then work your way up to 2 to 3 and so forth. And you can see right here, enzymes 1 to 3 capsules, see what feels best. And you just kind of gradually work your way up Okay, and if we can always go to a fraction of a capsule, quarter or half if we need. And then same thing with the Liver Supreme. That would be our next supplement. This is our fat digestive support. Start at 1 capsule. Then the next day you can go to 2. The next day you can go to 3. Again, if we don't have a gallbladder, this is going to have to be taken longer term. If you have a gallbladder, but your stools are more floating and you're not breaking down fat, or they're very clay colored, or they're leaving excessive skid marks on the toilet seat or excessive wipes, that's usually a sign of just lots of fat in there. And so we want to work on breaking that down. So look for that to improve. Look for stools start to sink now. And again, HCl we can be given first out of the gates, but if we have a lot of gut inflammation, you see how we just pulled that backwards there? Just kind of giving you guys an insight into how to adjust your protocol. So if you have an issue and you're not able to chat with me, you can at least do it on the fly here and using this video as kind of a guide for yourself. And then again, this is an example blank protocol. So with patients, we typically would put the lab test here. These are some of the templated labs or other labs that we utilize, and we would just delete the on hold aspect if that test is going to be executed and we're going to be completing it. So just on hold means it doesn't pertain to you. Just an FYI. And so I hope that makes sense in regards to how to adjust the digestive support guide. Feel free, and you can go to the link right here, and you can find it as well. If you go to justinhealth.com, top right-hand corner, click the members area, and the password is justinhealth. I'm already logged in, but the password is justinhealth.com, and then you're good. And then if you go down here below, you can find the digestive support guide. Here it is. Click on it, and here you go. This is a video I made years ago that kind of walks you through it. Very similar. I just wanted to give you a screen share video, so it's a little bit more clear with the protocol sheet, with the handouts, and so you're good. And also, make sure you're getting enough protein at each meal. I mean, that's important. If you're eating too small of an amount of protein, that could be a problem as well. Right? Look for the hotness, the heaviness, the burning. Keep an eye on all that and really try to find the dose that works good. Digestive support is the foundation, because if your diet stinks or you can't break down that food, then you're going to have problems. Also, if we need, we can also do bitters over lemon juice or apple cider vinegar if that's a problem. The bitters are nice because this comes in a dropper bottle, and we can start with 1 drop. Work our way up to 30 full drops. 30 full drops is typically 1 full dropper. And so we can start with a much, much lower dose. And these can start to help the digestive juices, get them flowing, get the enzymes, get the acid secretions going. So these are all good options for you as well if we need. And again, if you have any issues, you can also, look at the emergency digestive support guide. You can add in some of the baking soda. If you did too much acid, you can also add in the GI Restore, really work on calming things as well. And if we have a lot of motility issues, we can do the oxy powder to help with extreme constipation, or we can do activated charcoal to help with the extreme diarrhea as well. So we have all these different kind of tools in our tool belt. But I hope this makes sense for y'all to kind of understand how to navigate the digestive program and really get that dialed in, because it's an important part of the foundation of getting your health back. Again, this is Dr. J signing off. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.